Are you scared to share your voice or even express yourself? Well, this is the video for you. And also, I still go through that sometimes myself. So welcome to my first ever episode of my podcast. Yay! Honestly, I don't know what it's really called right now. I'm in transition of kind of figuring out what the brand is with this podcast right now. But I know it'll be along the lines of, motivation, just entertainment talks, because that is my industry. So I want to give people more tips of networking, jobs, all that type of stuff, but also not just jobs, of how to be a brand for yourself, all that type of stuff. So yeah, if you really want to hear that stuff, especially if you're trying to get into video production and all that other stuff, then yeah, I think you want to listen to this. I think you want to be on this podcast, all right? This is where the cool kids are at. These are the cool people at. So let's get into the podcast. So expressing yourself and having a voice is something that is put on us, pressure, everything. We all have heard, express yourself, you be who you are. It's always about that expression and that voice. And honestly, it's not even just social media. It's branding with stores, coffee places, fast food. They're all be who you are, express yourself. It's always that it's catered to you, obviously, to get a customer, And that's kind of the same way with if you're trying to start something social media, it's always catered to that person and that customer, whoever. But I want to really share with you why it is important to have a voice within yourself or just anything that you do. And first, I'll tell you about my story and how I found a little bit of my voice. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure it out. I ain't gonna lie. But I think it's important to at least start acknowledging it and start understanding it at least. So for me, Miss Girl, I grew up very expressionless or okay, as a young kid or a young child, I definitely was very expressive. I cried. If I was angry, I was angry. I would share that. But as I got older, I really didn't talk that much, and I just wasn't really expressive with my voice, at least. But I was expressive through my face emotions, or I would express just in different ways. And it wasn't really, at least for me, really until I feel high school, early college. I'm still in college now, so not even that long ago, even a couple years ago, that I feel I've really found more of my voice. I'm still trying to learn and figure it out. But I always had a lot of shame for not using my voice as much. I would always be comparing myself to people that seems they're expressive and they just say anything they want to say. And me, I just wasn't that type. I was just that type that I would internalize everything, and I felt my voice just really didn't matter. Or I would feel oh, if I say this, it's gonna upset someone. I was a really bad people pleaser, and but you could tell by my face or my expressions or whatever that I was obviously upset. But I was really good at low-key. I was really good at hiding my feelings and stuff for a very long time. I know a lot about this topic when it comes to your voice. And it can really be scary sometimes to use your voice, because in some places, the way you grew up, maybe and that was kind of my thing, the way you grew up, if you use your voice, you're gonna get hit. Or in some countries, if you use your voice, they're going to, harm you. And there's so many reasons why people are not able to use their voice, and it can be hard to express yourself. But this is why I want to say why sharing your voice is important. The first thing is sharing your voice doesn't have to be a verbal thing. That is one thing that I learned. I grew up really observant and kind of observing everything. And the thing was, I expressed myself, I've done content creation ever since I was 12 years old. And I express myself through dance. I express myself through, my emotions sometimes. I express myself through writing, express myself through drawing. There's people that physically just can't talk, but they express themselves through different things. And I want to say, if you're someone that struggles with communicating at a more verbal tone, knowing that it's not the end for you. You will still make it in this world. You just have to find what your brand and your voice is, especially if you're someone that wants to do something like be an entrepreneur or go work a job that like has something with your voice. Your voice is what your passion is. That's your voice, is your passion. Your voice doesn't have to be you communicating, because there are people in this world, there are great communicators, and there's people in this world that are not great communicators, but it doesn't mean they will not be successful. Unfortunately, we do live in a society that promotes people that are more extroverted or more verbal than people that are not, which that sucks. You got to learn how to play the game. But it's important because, first of all, you don't need that. But secondly, it heals you. Usually what your voice is, or what helps you express yourself, is usually the thing that heals you. Like people, music that heals them. It doesn't even have to be singing, playing an instrument, mixing music, producing. That's a voice. Playing sports, that's a voice. It usually heals yourself, but people are attracted to energy. It heals others too. Because you're doing what you love, people are naturally attracted to that. One thing I will say is energy is everything. You will hear me say that in every episode, video, everything I probably do, is energy is everything. And what is meant for you, it can't go wrong. So don't worry about, well, how I'm going to express myself. Just express it. Your expression doesn't have to be through your voice all the time. Your expression can be fashion, makeup, hair. That's a voice. It's saying something. Social media always wants to, sometimes you just need to get off social media. Social media always promotes this thing of, I have to talk in all of my videos. No, you don't. There's people that be doing art, don't say shit. Literally, who's that guy? I can't think of his name. He's literally like the most popular person on TikTok. The boy don't even talk. The boy don't even talk. And he got, you know what I'm saying? He literally has more followers than anyone. And everyone knows him. And the boy, but that's a voice of what he's doing. He's telling something. When it's telling a story, it's a voice of itself. It makes noise. It's a quiet noise, but it makes noise. It's a sense of reflection. Your voice reflects a part of who you are. I want you to learn today that your voice doesn't exactly have to be what you think people are supposed. It's not about what they think. It's about what you think about it. Your voice is important. You are meant to be heard. And it doesn't have to be verbal. Your designs are meant to be heard. Your fashion is meant to be heard. Your academic, greatness. If you're good at math, that's something. If your passion, your voice is history, that's a voice. Your voice doesn't have to be your job. It doesn't have to be. But if you want to learn how to express yourself, the first thing I would say is learn how to express yourself through skill. Find a skill that you are already good at. You may already have a skill or something that you have been wanting to create. Or if you don't know, learn, figure it out. Your voice can be many different things. Your expression can be anything. It doesn't have to be, drawing, painting, writing. Your expression literally can be, you see people do home decor. They just clean up the house. That could be your voice. Your voice could be trying on shit. That could be your voice. Your voice really can be anything. Your voice doesn't always have, because I think a lot of people think that your voice is always either writing or painting. I don't know how to paint. I can't paint for shit. I'm a decent writer, but I can't paint for crap. But your voice means a lot. Express yourself, because you don't even have to do it for anybody. You don't have to make a big impact to have a voice. If you just want to be happy, man, do what you love. Obviously do something that, ain't crazy. Because some people have some voices where I'm like, Like, obviously you know what's right and wrong, okay? Now we're going to get to the part of what are practical things that you can do, because I'm not going to sit here and talk to you and be like, oh, we're just gonna, no, you're gonna find steps and we're gonna do it, okay? The first step is I want you to find another thing I do is I do everything in 1 to 3s. I don't do no more than 3 things. Find 1 to 3 things that you know that you can express yourself in, even if you're good or bad at it. If it's something you want to try, if you know you're good at writing but you want to try knitting, and you want to try, I don't know, playing a sport, those are 3 voices, 3 things, hobbies, I guess. Pick 1 to 3 things that you want with it, okay? And then the next thing I want you to do is write how you want your voice to be with this. So do you want this voice to just be a fun voice or a fun expression, and you just want to play with it? Or do you want this expression or this voice to be something a little more meaningful? Because another thing about expression is you have to, even though you can be bad at it, which is fine, whatever you want to do with it, it has to have some type of goal to it. I feel like if you want to express it in a more external way, you got to know what you want to do with it. Because if you don't know, like, I feel like give yourself a couple weeks to play with it, and then make it a little more external if you want it to be that way. If it's internal, you can do whatever the hell you want to do with it, or you do whatever you want to do. Maybe give yourself 1 to 3 messages for each of, like, what do I want to do with these expressions? So for example, I'll give you an example. So let's just say one of the expressions you want to learn more is cheerleading. I did cheer in high school, and I have a poster, so I just kind of saw myself with it. So the expression, a voice you want to do is cheer. So what do I want this expression to mean? Why do I want to use it as a voice? Well, I want to use it because I want to teach, or I want to show people that you can do anything, you can move your body no matter what age you are. Or I want to express it because I want my inner child to know that she wanted to dance, something like that. And then the third thing that I want you to do with it is give yourself checkpoints. So every week or every day or every month, I would say, I personally think a week is the best, but choose what you do every mark and see, how did it make you feel? How did you express yourself? Did you hit that? And what can you do next to voice that expression a little bit more? That's all I wanted to share with you guys today. And I want you to know that you are loved. And I would love for you to comment whatever your voice is or what you want your expression to be. And I want you to give yourself checkpoints in the comment section or by like in a journal, whatever. And I would love to see, what topics do you want to talk, what you want to hear next. A lot of motivation, is another thing. How to, get into entertainment. Any video editing tutorials or anything of that nature, or, how to do certain things. So yeah. That's really all for me. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for watching this podcast, and I'm excited for this year, and love you. Bye.